Hello, hello, hello. I hope my voice is audible to each and everyone, right? Let's see, let me check. Hello, yeah. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the stream. In the previous lectures, we have done this part where we developed our application. Okay, this is how it looks. Skills page and all these things has been done into it, right? Now, today, what we are going to do, we are going to be doing the preparing. Okay. So in the upcoming video, what we are going to do, we are going to create a music application, right? So for making a music application, you should be knowing how exactly we works with medias, right? Now, already in this basic project, we have started and we have even learned what is photos, how to implement photos, how to add photos and all, right? But we have not implemented this part about music and videos. How exactly, we can play, pause music, how exactly we can deal with medias basically in Kotlin. Okay. So that is what we will be doing. But first of all, let me do what? Let me post this code on GitHub and I'll show you that how exactly, we have to upload the code in uh, GitHub. So what we are going to do, firstly, we are going to be opening a code. I'll open sample app. Okay, this window. Okay, as soon as you can see our sample app has been opened, let me see whether everything is working fine or not. So I'll just hit run and here is our emulator. Let's see whether our code is working fine or not. Let's give it a second. Okay. So as you can see, there is exactly our emulator over there. Emulator has been minimized a lot, I think so. Yeah. So this is our emulator over here, and you can see it is working great. Okay. Now, what we are going to do, we will be uploading this code on GitHub. So what we have to do, first of all, we have to install Git for our, updation. So what you can either do, you can go and head over to Git and download Git over here. Okay. So you can either search Git download like that, and you will be getting this first link where you have the Git part. Okay. So you can download the Git from that there as well. There you will be getting this link. So as soon as I will open here, you can see we are getting this download part. So we'll click Windows, and from there you can download for your Windows edition like -64. So it will be just simply downloaded. Okay. You can see it has downloaded successfully. So this is our Git, and you just have to follow the instruction. You have to just right click, click next, 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 like that, and that's pretty much it you have to do. Okay, like this is the part, and you can see that this is our Git over here. It is just asking for the next. You have to just click next, next part, and the Git will be installed. Okay, then what you have to do, you have to head over back to Android Studio. Inside Android Studio, you will go for File. Inside File, click for Settings. Okay. Now, inside the settings part, what you have to do over here is you have to go for version control. Inside this version control, you can see Git present over here. Okay. And here you can see auto detect. That was the main reason why I was saying to you to leave everything as it is so that you can let it auto detect. So I'll test, click on text, and you can see it is telling me the Git version 2.4.0.1. Okay. So our Git is installed. Then what we have to do, we have to go to VCS, and inside this VCS, okay, you have to enable version control integration. Okay. And as soon as you will click on version control integration, you have to select Git over here and then click OK. So as soon as you will click OK, you can see that it is now showing me red files because these files are not uploaded yet. Okay. So we will be doing this. After this part, what you have to do, you have to head over to project. Okay. And while heading over to project, you have to right click here. Okay. What I'm going to be creating, I'll first of all click and I'll write project. Okay. Now inside this project, it is showing you a lot of options. Okay. So what options you have to do? You have to firstly head down. Okay, and we'll check for option called add. Okay. So we'll hit right click here. Inside this, you have to see where we are getting add file over here. So this will click to git. Okay, and inside clicking to git, you will get an option called add. So we'll click on git over here, and as soon as clicking on git, you will click add. So it will then add all these files. Okay, and the files will be added, and nothing much changes as of now. Okay, so now what we have to do, we are going to be writing to commit. Okay, so again we'll right click and we'll go down and we'll write git, and again clicking to git, we have to write commit directly. Okay, so as soon as you will click on commit directly, you can see we are getting commit over here. So I'll write commit portfolio app commit. Okay, so portfolio app commit, like that, I will write the tag and I'll hit commit over here. Now it will analyze our code, how exactly things are working, what all things are there and not, and it will be analyzing it. As soon as it will analyze, it will show us the output. See, here is it says one error, 20 warnings, and one to do. So you have to solve it out. Okay, you can either do one thing, you can just convert it like that and you can run it, but that's not a best practice. Okay, you have to disable this errors and then only you have to do. So here you can see it is having one error. Okay, this error. So I'll just select this line, and what I can do, I can remove it. So as soon as I will remove it, that error will be gone. Then here it is one to do. So we'll head over to that file to do. Okay, I'll click to do and I'll right click here, and after clicking this to do, it will take us to the error part where we have exactly the error. Okay, so what I'll be doing here is I'll be removing this error. Okay, and we'll remove this particular line itself from there, and the error will be gone. Okay, now we will just do what, we will click to rerun commit. Okay, and it will take about a minute or so. Let it run for that particular amount of time, and it will then analyze our code. Okay, so now it says 20 warnings. Either you can do what, you can solve out all the warnings. It will be like string warning and all these basic warnings, but it is just simply waste of time for now. I'll be doing that in the backside. Okay, and you guys have to solve all these warnings and then you have to write commit. So as soon as it will be committed, you can see it says 81 files committed, portfolio app commit. That will be our tag which we have given it. Then I'll just minimize that line. Okay, after doing that, what we are going to do, we are going to head over and giving it push. Okay, so I'll write inside this git, I'll write push. Then you have to define the remote. So what we will be doing over here is we will be heading over to git, and inside the GitHub, we'll head over to the profile. Okay, so I have, this is my GitHub account over here. Okay, you guys can check that out, GitHub. And inside this, okay, so this is my GitHub. What I'll be doing, I'll be clicking to repositories. This was the repository that we have already been working on. and I'll be creating a new repository. I'll write portfolio, portfolio, portfolio app. Okay, so I'll write portfolio app like that, and in the bracket or in the any other underscore Kotlin. Okay, so I'll be specifying the Kotlin as well because this is Kotlin portfolio app. So I'll right click create repositories, and as soon as I'll be clicking on the create repository over here, you can see that our link has been generated. Okay, so as soon as we will be clicking on the link, we will be copying it and then we'll head over to this part. Then here it says define remote. So under this define remote, we will be pasting that link and I'll write OK. Okay. And you can see now all the committed files, like the file which is left out to be pushed. So we'll select, we will just go here and I'll write push. Okay. Push over here. So it will take a minute or so. For you guys who have never done this in Android Studio, it will ask to log in with GitHub. Okay, so you have to log in with GitHub, and as soon as you will log in with GitHub, your code will be pushed. If you want to check that, you can either head over to this part and then you will just click reload, and there you can see the all the files which we have just committed. Okay, so this is how we will be uploading the code on GitHub. So now when your progress is uploaded on GitHub, now we will be coming back to the topic which we are going to be studying today. Okay, so that topic is, let me close this out as well. So that topic is how exactly we can be dealing with medias. Okay, so what is the first thing that we are going to be learning is working with media, that is audio files over here. So how exactly we work with audios? So to work with audios, you have to understand that there is a media player. It is a class that is used to control the playback of audio, video, and streams. So what you can either do, you can either refer audio, you can either refer like that. Okay, you can write media player Kotlin like that. So you can either refer this, and then as soon as you will check, you will be head over to this Android developer.android.com, and here you can read it. So media player class can be used to control playback of audio video files and streams. Media player is not thread safe. Caution of all access of the player's instances should be on the same thread. Okay, so it is just telling you the basic things and all, no, that can be used to access media players. Now, what we are going to be doing, we will be creating a new app. Okay. So for that, I'll be going to this file over here and I'll open new. Okay, so new project will be of basic activity. Okay, or I'll do what? I'll just go empty activity and I'll write media player. Okay, so we'll be writing media player like that, and I'll write finish. So it will about take a second, and let me close this one. This is our media player file. So yeah, this is the activity where we are going to be learning media players. Okay, so what exactly is a media player? So the android.media.player class will be used to control the audio or video files. It accesses the built-in media player services such as playing audio, video, etc. Okay, so what we will be doing, there are several methods of media player class available that I'll be just writing it down so that you guys can check it. So I'll be writing it here. Okay. So this is some of the basic methods that I have written. What is public void data source string? What exactly it does? It sets the data source, okay, file path, URL to use, all these things like that. And what is the prepare? It prepares the media player for playback synchronously. All these things are there. You can just have a look and you will be good to go and you will be getting all these points as well. Yeah. So till then, let me just format this line. Format. Okay. So now I have commented these lines and now you can look. Like what is this public void start? It starts or resumes the playback. Okay. Then you have public void stop. What it does, it stops the player. Then you have the pause, which will be pausing out the player. And all these important functionalities are written, which you guys can have a look and we will be testing that out while we will be dealing over here. Okay. Then what we have public void pause. So what this pause will do, it will pause the playback. Then it will ask Boolean. It checks if the player media is playing or not. Okay, and all these things. So the code which I will be providing, it will be having these files. And what you can do is you can have a look when we will be working with it. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's start over here with creating a file. So what we will be doing, first of all, we will go to activity main.xml. So we'll head over to resource file. Okay. And inside this we have layouts and inside this we have activity main.xml. Now, inside this activity main.xml, we are going to be creating a code. So I'll head over to the code part and inside this code, we are going to be writing our functions. So width and the height will be same and endpoint will be also the same. So what I exactly need over here is I need button. So for that we will be coding out a button layout in the layout. Okay, so I'll remove this text and I'll write button. To see, I'll write button. Inside this, firstly, what I'm going to be specifying, I'll be giving the ID. So ID of this button will be pause button. Okay, so pause BTN. So this will be a basic ID of pause button. Then what we are going to give, we are giving it a height. Okay, so layout height will be wrap content and similarly layout width will be as well wrap content. Okay, so inside this media, what we are doing, we are basically dealing out with width over here. What, how much width you want to provide to our buttons, so that you can specify on your own. But what I'll be doing, I'll be just utilizing the basics layout. So required wrap content like that. Similarly, we will be giving it a margin as well. So in the parallel, you can see what we are doing. Okay. So for all those who are joined recently, what we are doing, we are just going to be utilizing the Kotlin file. Inside Kotlin, you have media player. So media player, what it does, it allows us to utilize play and pause sound, play and pause videos. It can access the music videos from our data. So that is what we are learning over here. So for that, I am just creating a basic layout. Okay. What will be the text over here? I'll give it a text as pause. So this will be our pause button and enabled will be false. Okay. So that is the basic activity that we are doing over here. Now, after writing this false, what we'll write bottom to the bottom. This is just the alignment that we are specifying, that bottom to the bottom of parent. Okay. And what is there? And to the start of over here, we are specifying that one as well. So end to the start of ID play button. Okay, so we will be even giving it a play button. So right after this play button ends, at that particular pace you have to start. Okay, now this part is done. Then start to the start of parent as well. Start to the start of parent, and similarly top to the top of parent as well. Okay, so top to top of parent. So these are the basic things that we will be implementing over here, and we will be having a look. Okay, so let's now do what? Let's now start with basic margins and all that you have to specify. So for margin, what I'll be doing here is I'll be giving it a basic margin, like margin from all sides it should be 8 dBs. Okay, so that will be the margin that we will be providing. Now let's do what? Let's start with creating another button that will be a play button. So similarly, we will be utilizing a play button as well over here. So in the play button, I'll write button similar to this one. So I'll write button. Inside the button, we will be adding the basic things. So width will be 88 dps. Okay. And the height will be wrap content as well. So height will be wrap content. So we will be wrapping out the content over here. Okay. So what I'll be doing here is I'll be giving it a wrap content. As soon as that will be done, I'll write margin. So margin will be also added over here. So layout margin similar to that ADPs. And here we are going to write text will be play text. Okay, so text will be play. So play like that. And after writing this play text, we will be giving that same old, functions. So it will be like bottom to the bottom of parent, end to the start of another button that I'll be specifying over here. So instead of copying down, I'll just write it like, okay. So this will be added. And what I'm going to do, I'll be adding button like that. Okay. So bottom to the bottom of parent, that part is fine. And we have to write app. Okay. So bottom to the bottom of parent like that. And as soon as we will do it, end to the start of what I'm going to write another button. So instead of play button, I'll write stop button. This button does not exist currently, but we will be creating that as well. And end to the start of pause button that we have just created. Okay, so at the rate ID and pause button. Okay, so pause button like that. Now, what is the final part is we are going to be specifying one more button, and I'll do what? I'll just copy paste this for context. So I'll be just copy pasting that full old context and I'll write stop button like that. Copy and paste. So for that, we have created a stop button, and in this, we forgot to give the ID. So let me add the ID as well over here. So ID will be play button, play VTN. Now we have provided the play button, we have given the pause button, and similarly we have even specified the last button as well. Okay. What are the errors it's telling us? Let me have a look. Reference to an unknown ID. What exactly happened? Okay, so stop BTN. BTN is not specified. So let me have a look where exactly that happened. So stop BTN, BTN. This is the stop BTN, BTN like that. So play, pause, and stop. What error this has now? So we can utilize it and like, okay, so remove tags, play, pause, and this part. All these buttons have been implemented successfully over here. Okay. And what we will be doing, we will be implementing the buttons. And let's have a look whether everything looks good or not. So we will zoom out, and here you have the buttons. Now, after this button has been created, we will be adding a relative layout. So we'll go to the design part, and in this design part, I'll go to this part, and here we are going to be adding more things. Okay. What error it shows, use left, right instead of start and attributes. Show quick fixes, delete margin layouts. Okay. So we have done that part. And what you have to add, so we will be adding some basic things. Like I need to add here layout. So we'll go for layout. And inside this layout, you can see we have multiples layout, linear layout, horizontal, linear layout, vertical like that. What I exactly need here is I need a relative layout. So after this button, I'll only add this relative layout. You have to give it like that. If now it won't give the error. And if we will see, the error has been also resolved. So as soon as this button ends here, we are going to be writing relative layout. So we'll write relative layout. Okay. So relative layout. Inside this, we have to give the padding. So it will be 368 dps. Okay. Just a random selection of numbers. 368 dps like that. And what exactly we will be adding in this height? We will be adding more to it. That is wrap content. Okay. So wrap content. After this, margin will be also given. So margin will be 8 dp. And as soon as we'll give the margin, what we will be writing the basic things like end to the end of and all these things. So end to end of parent. Okay. Then what we have over here, we have horizontal bias. So constant horizontal bias. So horizontal bias will be 1.0 like that. And we have start to the start of parent, and similarly top to the top of parent as well. So top to top of parent. Okay. So this will be our layout, relative layout. This will be our basic relative layout. What it says over here, layout is unnecessary, no children, no background, no ID, no style. So we will be adding a text view over here. Okay. So what will be the basic text view? It will be like text pass. Okay. So I'll be adding a text view inside this like this. So here we have text view added successfully, where we have this. It is telling us about the hard coded text. So we will be just extracting the string so that this error gets resolved. Okay, so string pause, string play, string pause, string play like that. And the final one will be string stop. Okay, so yeah, this one is get extracted, extract string resource, and okay. Okay, so this part has been done. Now, after this is done, we will be closing that out, and now we will be heading over to the main activity KT file. So, what we will be adding, we will go here. Yeah. So inside this, you have the basic import. Okay. So this is just a basic Kotlin media player. Now, inside what we are going to be specifying, we will be writing class main activity. Inside this, we will firstly specify some of the private. So private late int. Okay. So private late int variables. That is first is the media player, the player which will be used, okay, to basically play the media. So here you have it. This equals to the media player. Then what error gives you? Okay, so ERER. So this is the media player that we are going to be using. Then what you have here, you have another private latent. So private latent in variable, and this will be our runnable. Okay, so runnable will be also used. After this, we will be firstly adding the handler. So private variable handler. So inside this handler, we will be specifying the handler as well. So private int variable, then handler equals to handler like that. Okay, so handler. This will be added. What it says, we'll check. So depreciation. Handler has been depreciated. We will be convert initializer to getter. We can do something else for that, but now, for now, I'll add a boolean as well. So what you need to do, you need to add a boolean. So private, inside the private, we have to write variable, and the pause will be boolean. So boolean, and it will be what? False. So boolean will be false like that. So that is a basic condition that we have added. Okay. Now what we will be doing, we will be checking out the final thing. So this part is done, override bundle and all. And now let's start with media player. Okay. So inside this, what we are going to write, we are going to write after this main pause, we will be starting our media player. So starting the media player. Okay. So starting the media player. So we will be implementing the media player here. So I'll write play btn dot set on click listener. Okay. So we will be specifying set on click listener. Inside this, we'll write on click listener. This on click listener. What it says, the play btn has been not specified. So what we'll do, we will import that here. Okay. So let me check inside the import whether we have all these things imported or not. So bundler, handler, activity main has not been imported. So import Kotlin x dot android And inside this synthetic dot main dot activity underscore main like that. This will dot star. What this gives us an error, it will say, let me check, rename reference of the site. Telling me the reference is not correct, which I have provided. Never mind, we will be checking our reference, what error it is throwing us. And inside this play button listener, you have to be giving the data. So what I'll do, I'll give a curly brackets, and inside this I'll write if, okay, pause, PAUSE like that. If pause, what you have to do, you have to write media player dot seek2 okay, media player dot current position. This we will specify, and what this will do, this will start. So media player dot start. Okay, so media player dot start like that it will write. Then what we will give, pause equals to false. This we will specify. Then I'll write toast inside this dot make text this. What it will write, it will give us the writings that whether our media is playing or not, or media has paused or not. So media playing like that it will give us the notification. So media playing comma post dot length short dot show. Okay, so length short, after this I'll write dot show. Okay, so dot show like that I will write, and now it will not give you that error. So we have written a basic condition. After this I'll write an else. So else, inside this else, what we will be specifying, we will be specifying another condition like what you can write. So if that is not the case, then media player equals to media player dot create. Inside create I'll write application context comma r. So in this you have to specify the URL. Okay, so or URI, basically what you are going to be writing or what you are going to be using over here. Okay, so what you can do, you can download any sort of file or not. Okay. Like what you can write raw school raw dot. I'll be downloading some rings over here. Okay, and you can add that whatever URL you want, you can add that over there. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll write sample mp3 file, mp3 download. So I'll be just telling sample mp3 download like that. So that will download some sort of file. I don't know what it will be. Sample mp3. I'll download 700K file. Let me play the sound. Okay, so maybe that sound is present. So I'll write download, and then I'll head over to that file, and I'll do what? I'll rename it to sample music. Okay, so whatever it is, sample music.mp3. I'll be renaming it like that, sample mp3. and then I'll just do copy. Okay. Then inside this, what we are going to be doing, we will be implementing that part in this. So what I'll do, I'll go to the resource folder. Okay. Then inside this resource folder, we will be implementing this. You will be creating an audio file. Okay, so we will inside this we will create a new directory. Okay, so resource data directory, and I'll rename it to raw. Okay, then I'll rename it to raw. Inside raw, you can see what exactly it is having. It will be having raw. So click OK, and inside this raw folder, we will be going and we will write paste. So you can see it as already detected sample MP3. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to be adding that part. So we have successfully added file over here inside this sample MP3 like that. Now we'll close that, and inside this, what we will do, we will write the file. So r dot raw dot sample music. Okay. So that will be our basic file, and we will write what? We will write to start it. So media player dot start. Okay, so media player dot start like that. And similarly, we will write that main thing. What is toast make? Same line from above. I'll just paste it here. So toast copy, and right after this line, we'll paste it. We will be implementing that, and I hope everybody is understanding what we are doing in this particular lecture. We have basically just implemented a media player. Okay, and similarly, as soon as this else condition will be done, I'll write initialize seek. What is this? This is a basic function that we will be using. Okay, so what it is a private function that will be having an initialize part. So what we will do, we will be creating that function. So to create that function, we'll come right here and I'll write private function, and it will be named as initialize seek bar. So inside this initialize seek bar function, we will be writing seek bar dot max equals to media player dot seconds. Okay, so media player dot seconds like that I'll be adding. Then after this, what we will be writing, we will write runnable equals to the main runnable, and it will be having the progress status. What we are doing inside the seek bar, we will be initializing the progress. How much song is placed or how much song is about to be played and all these things. So progress equals to media player dot current seconds. So it will be writing media player dot current seconds. All these things will be implemented inside this. Okay. We have to write this function right here. Okay, so we'll be implementing that function as well, but for now, I think so why it is giving us that error because we have not successfully, created the main activity XML file. So what we will be doing, we will be firstly implementing that part. So you can already see we have created a relative layout. Okay. So inside this relative layout, I hope, yeah, inside this relative layout, what it is done that we have already created a text view that is TV pass. Now we will be writing two more things that is TV due and a seek bar. So we will be adding that part as well in the layout. So this is the text view and two more files has been added. You can see this is the seek bar which is right above there present. Okay, so we'll be adding the seek bar as well. And now you can see the code is perfectly looking fine. I think so. Maybe there is some error that has been added to this. Let me check where we are getting that error. So in this part, as of here, we will click missing class. So what class exactly it is missing? Let me. So in this part, it says missing some classes. Okay, so maybe now it will be not having that same thing, missing class one. And we will be just checking the button part. For buttons, let's have a look, basic look. We have button one, this is button two, and similarly we have button three. Okay, so these are the buttons part, and yeah, it looks good. Now we will be jumping back to the Android file, and inside this file, what we will be doing, inside this Android file, we will be again back to the code. What we will be doing, we will be implementing the start, play, and all these things over here. So let me go back here, and inside this handler is depreciated. What can we use except of handler? So handler is depreciated. So in this case, what you can use, what you can either use something else. So now the preferred that you specify is looper. Okay, so instead of handler, now it uses looper over here. For Kotlin, what you can do is you can implement looper instead of handler. So we will be doing that part as well. Okay. Now coming back to the code, you can see that we have already specified some private variables. Okay. After specifying that private variables, we have even created a starting scene where we are starting our button. Okay. Then let me do one thing. Let me specify that where exactly that play button is also getting. So variable play btn equals to r dot layout dot. What you can do here is you can either specify it from that part. So we'll go to this part, and after this we will be having a look what you can do. Okay, so we will be specifying the code over here. So I'll do what? I'll write the classes. I don't know why it is giving us that sort of error that this part is not working and all, but most probably it should work because everything is perfect. So inside this, so yeah, find view by ID, right? So find view by ID. Inside this ID, I'll write button. So, and here in this, I'll write r dot ID dot play BTN. So this part is done, play BTN is fine. Now, what you can do is in this part, what error it's throwing, it's giving us, let me have a look. Rename, create extension function button dot on click start. So yeah. So I don't know why this is not taking us the button part properly, but yeah, that looks good. And it even is fine. So no, we will be not specifying surrounding it. And okay, so for now, let's leave it as it is. Instead of that, what I'll do, I'll be writing basic conditions which was not present here. So I'll write play button dot is enabled. Okay, so is enabled equals to false. Then after this, similarly, pause button and the same things we will be writing. So pause button, pause btn like that, dot is enabled equals to true. So not that true. TRUE1 true. That true. And stop button is also specified. So stop btn dot is enabled is also true. So that is the error. And so now what is happening, we are doing some of the changes. Okay, so as soon as that part is done, we will be writing media player. Okay, so inside this media player, we will be specifying some of the things as well. So what I'll write button play dot on click listener. So instead of this variable, I'll write it like that. Okay, so this part has been done. Set on click listener. Don't know why it is giving us that sort of error. We'll have a look at that. For now, what you can do, you can modify the code, stop btn, play btn, all these things. And after this, I'll write pause btn dot on click listener. Okay, so what I'll write on click listener like that. Inside this on click listener, we are going to specify that if media player is playing it. Okay, so if media player dot is playing, then what you have to do, you have to stop it. So media player dot pause. So it will pause the music and the pause condition will be true. Okay. So that is the basic thing. After this, the same function for else condition. So for else, what I'll write, after this, I'll write play btn dot is enabled equals to true. Similarly, pause button, pause btn dot is enabled equals to false, and stop button dot is enabled is also equals to true. This is just a condition that we are adding again and again, like whether these things should work or not. So for this one, copy, paste, and paste like that. So instead of writing display, I'll write close. Okay, and for the pause button also, I'll give it a pause video. So pause BTN is good, and maybe now it will stop with this error. Okay, so what we can add, we'll click on more action and let's check this part. And play button will also create an issue. Let me check why this is creating an issue. Play and pause PTN was don't know why it is giving errors. So plain BTNs and are basically most probably our layout issue, or maybe we have not imported it properly. To main activity file. So already we have written here is set content view inside this r dot activity main. So technically we are not supposed to initialize these things. Okay. So if I remove it, then it should not give us that error, but it is still giving us that error. I don't know why. Let's check. We'll have a look here. Expected expected variable at 48. Where exactly it is expecting variable? This particular one. So yeah, you have to specify the variable. So I'll be doing what? I'll be undoing it. So play, pause, and now this final one, stop again. And I'll just add stop btn like that. And now it should not give us that error. So yeah, you can see that play, pause, things and all are now not giving us any sort of error. So what we will be doing, we will be writing the bindings function. Also we can write, we what it can do, it will bind us the data and it will not give us the error. Okay. So this part is now looking good, and now in this initializer seek bar we will be creating a new function for that, and let's get started. What I'll be doing here now, what I'll do, I'll firstly create bindings for this, and to create bindings we will be using binding function. Okay, so for that let's add a binding over here. Okay, so we'll head over to our file. I'll write main activity.kt. Inside this we'll write here and we'll go for imports, and inside this imports, it let me go check for this on click listener. Yeah. So I'll hit right click, and inside this right click, it says create extension function for on click listener. And no, I don't need to add a button over here. We have already provided the button, which is not necessary because it will just simply create an issue and that will not work properly. Okay. So yeah, we'll leave that for now and let's keep it as it is, and we will be just focusing on the UI. UI is done. You can see this is the seek bar, this is the play, pause, and stop button, and the main activity KT file. This one is giving us error. I sort of don't know why, but technically it should not give us the error because we have obviously implemented all these things properly. So bundle is there, toast is there, handler is also there, and we have seek bar. So we'll write seek, so import Android dot widget dot seek bar. So that is what we are going to be using. We will be using a seek bar, which will tell us what exactly is the status of our file, how it is running or not, and whether it's working perfectly or not. Okay. So we will be creating a private function here. I'll write private function, and inside this function, I'll write initialize seek bar. Okay, so initialize seek bar, and after initializing the seek bar, we will write seek bar seek underscore bar dot max. Okay, equals to media player dot seconds. This will be showing us the seconds inside the media player. Current seconds. Actually, I'll write it current seconds, and then it will not give us that error. So current seconds. So current seconds will be used. Okay, so inside this, after this current second, we'll write runnable, and inside this runnable, I'll write runnable dot seek bar progress. So seek bar progress seek underscore bar dot progress equals to media player dot current seconds. So current seconds. Okay, so current seconds will be added, and right after this bracket, I'll write TV underscore pass dot text. Okay. So TV underscore part dot text inside this. In this, we'll write dollar and media player dot current seconds. This is just the basic text that it will be showing us what is the current seconds that are going on. So all these things are used to give us the output of how many seconds are playing and how many seconds are about to be left to be played. Okay, so all these things are getting implemented here. So this will be the second media player dot current, and inside current I'll write seconds. So current seconds, and we will be getting that output. And right after this part, we will write seconds. So this will be showing us the basic layout that yeah, now this much second is left, this much part is left, and as soon as that will be done, we will be getting our number of time or what exactly, how much time is left for the particular song to be completed. Then I'll write val difference equals to media player dot seconds minus media player dot current seconds. Okay, so current current seconds like that. So this will give us the difference, what exactly is the difference, and we will be outputting that seconds as well. So TV due, TV due, I'll write TV underscore due. So